Last night, the Rays jumped out to an early lead thanks to Carlos Pena's first inning blast, and they never looked back, defeating the Indians 4-2. Tonight, Jeremy Hellickson goes to the hill against Cleveland right-hander Justin Masterson. Rays baseball starts now on Sunsport. Tonight, the Rays' longest homestand of the season marches on. This will be Game 6, coming off a victory last night. Game 3 of this 4-game series tonight between the Rays and the Cleveland Indians. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to an evening of Rays baseball with Brian Anderson. I'm Dwayne Stats. Good to have you looking in. Todd Callis along in just a few moments. Well, the Rays will send Jeremy Hellickson to the mound tonight. It's been a while since Jeremy's had a win. In fact, 8 games, and he could have had at least 4 wins in that stretch. He's pitched well enough against this Cleveland club, 1-1 lifetime, including a loss this year.
Yeah, it's been a tough stretch for Jeremy Hellickson. Very frustrating those last 8 starts. However, he's going up a team that he's had some success against. 2 starts against the Cleveland Indians. He's given up 2 earned runs in 13 innings of work, holding them to a 178 average. And sometimes that's all it takes. You know, you're in a frustrating stretch and you say, you know what, I pitched well against this team. I have good feelings about this ball game. And then you go out there and you're able to replicate that on the field and lead your team to victory. That's exactly what the Rays are hoping tonight.
Tonight, as we take a look at the pitching matchup, the starting pitcher is brought to you by your local Southern Ford dealers. It'll be Justin Masterson making his 20th start. He's in with a record of 6-8. Jeremy Hellickson overall looking for his 5th win, 4-6, making start number 17 tonight for the Rays. So the Rays have been getting good pitching overall all year. Excellent pitching lately from the bullpen. Todd Callis will have more on the bullpen slamming the door when we return.
baseball. Rays and the Indians, Game 3 of this 4-game series. His team in second place now in the American League East for the first time since June the 11th. Part of the reason, and a large reason, is because the bullpen has been so solid for Joe lately. Even when the starters have gone limited innings recently, the bullpen has been there to pick them up. Look at that. 1.88 earned run average in the month of July, second best to the Oakland A's, and that's updated through the A's victory today against the Rangers, 0.98. That's one of the reasons they've been so hot as of late out in Oakland. And how about this? 12 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings over 9 appearances. And this series, 9 2/3 scoreless for the bullpen. As the Rays know, their bullpen is a key. We caught up with Joel Peralta and also JP Hal about their comfort zone.
Definitely, yeah. Especially at the fans we got back there, with much more confidence. And he's not. We know that he's not 100%. Ready yet, but he will be, and we count on him too. So everybody, McGee, JP, is really doing really good right now. Ronnie can do his things. Everybody's doing a little bit.
Accepting our, where we're at and stuff is key. Just knowing our roles is another thing, and knowing we're going to get opportunity each and every other night. It helps also the way Joe's been using us.
It's also a website Wednesday, so if you have any question whatsoever about vintage guitars or anything else, you can email us at AskTheRays@Fox.com or on Twitter at SunSportsRays, #AskTheRays. Vintage guitars and the New York Post. That's how you get ready for an Indians-Rays game. In 2 minutes and 54 seconds, enjoy all the action.
For great deals on the amazing lineup of Toyota vehicles. Toyota moving forward. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. By Tires Plus, the plus is in everything we do. And by Tampa Bay Radiation Oncology. When cancer strikes, strike back with CyberKnife and Tampa Bay Radiation Oncology. Rays and the Indians have divided the first 2 games of the series. Cleveland winning here on Monday night 3-2. The Rays 4-2 winners in last night's game. And this one tonight and the day game tomorrow. Seattle in over the weekend. The Cleveland lineup. finds Shin-Soo Choo again leading off in right as Drupal Cabrera hits second and Jason Kipnis third. The cleanup man, center fielder Michael Brantley. Carlos Santana back behind the plate hitting fifth. The DH is Travis Hafner. Johnny Damon in the lineup in left. Casey Kochman, another former Ray, at first base. He'll hit eighth. And Jack Hanahan is at third base. Hanahan hits ninth.
Now taking the mound tonight for the Tampa Bay Rays, going to be right-hander Jeremy Hellickson, making his 17th start of the season and looking to get back into the win column. If you look at Jeremy, his season breakout, first 8 starts, he was 4-0 with a 2.77 earned run average. In his last 8 starts, 0-6 with a 4.26. However, he's going up against a team tonight that he's had a good measure of success against over 2 starts.
So Hellickson all set to go to work. Shin-Soo Choo stepping in to lead off against him. Hellickson faced Choo leading off up in Cleveland in the start he made back on the 5th of this month. And Choo hit a 2-0 fastball into the seats in right center field in Cleveland. First pitch of this game, it's swung on and fouled back. That first pitch presented by Pinch-A-Penny. Hellickson starting Choo with a fastball for a strike on that foul ball.
And Choo not wasting any time. That pitch was meant to be in, ended up leaking out over the plate. Choo unleashed on it, fouling it off.
And the pitch drops down. It's 1-1. .296 average with 10 home runs and 35 runs batted in for Choo. Had a base hit at 4 at bats last night. Down to first and a backhanded stop by Pena. Hellickson covers and Choo is out at first. Nice stop by Pena, deep back of the bag, just fair to get the ball to Hellickson.
A really nice play. Carlos Pena, Choo making a bid for extra bases here to lead the ball game off, but Pena, step and a half, able to backhand that ball and then get the nice flip to Hellickson in time.
Flashing some leather with that big first baseman's mitt to begin this game. This is Drupal Cabrera. The pitch is a strike to Cabrera. Rays start the game running second in the AL East, 9.5 back of New York. This pitch is down 1-1, and they're tied with Detroit for the second wild card spot to start play. Half up on the Orioles, the Indians, and the Oakland A's. Manny Acta, skipper of this Cleveland club. That's a strike, and the count is 1-2. Cabrera down in the count. Lays off the pitch as it drops down 2-2. This is a wild card breakout. The Angels and then the Rays and Detroit. Oakland with a win. So Oakland has joined the wild card fray. Cleveland, Baltimore each 2 back now. Boston a game back, and Toronto 2.5 back.
How about Oakland? Very quietly sneaking in there.
Cabrera takes it foul the other way. Two balls, 2 strikes. Oakland beat Texas 4-3 earlier with a run in the bottom of the 9th inning. The right side pulled out of play, foul. Holding the count at 2-2. Well, it's party time, and there's the first present. balls, 2 strikes. Pretty close right there. Cabrera takes it for a ball to run the count full. Cabrera right now 2 out of his last 29. And a line drive going to be grabbed by Zobrist. Ben at second base reaching up to take care of that hot shot line drive. 2 gone.
How about that to start the game? Carlos Pena diving up the first base line to take away extra bases, and then here you go, Ben Zobrist making a nice timed jump, catching that ball actually behind him, right at the apex.
Two gone with the bases empty. Jason Kipnis, the second baseman. Ball, no strikes. One thing during this stretch for Hellickson, this winless stretch, command of the fastball has been an issue. This ball hangs up there, off-speed pitch on the change, and Kipnis flies to Joyce and right. 1, 2, 3, go the Indians. Bottom of the first coming. Rays coming in to hit. No score. H.H. Gregg moving into the home half of the first. The Rays lineup put together by Joe Madden. B.J. Upton again leads off, followed by Pena and Zobrist. Matt Joyce cleanup. Keppinger and Scott the DH. Jennings, Lobaton, and Johnson 7, 8, and 9. Justin Masterson on the mound, and that first pitch is a fastball and a cut and a miss. The fastball in at 96 from Masterson. Looks again, and that's another fastball. Tick up at 97, 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Justin Masterson, his 20th start of the season, and that you're going to see an awful lot of those. Primarily fastball slider guy.
2-2 now.
Coming off a strong outing his last time out against the Toronto Blue Jays, and hoping to hitch up the rest of this Cleveland Indian ball club to his horse and buggy and lead them to victory.
Ball back. After that, he's going to try to cross the prairie and get over the Rockies, go to the West Coast. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count here to B.J. Upton. Fastball high. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Right back with the 3-2 pitch, and it's shot foul back a third. Masterson is setting a quick pace here to start this game.
Hey, he does not waste any time. Former bullpen guy. Good fastball, a lot of ground balls.
Rays got to him in Cleveland for a couple of quick runs in the first inning of that game. A high pop-up, foul ball. Santana's after it, but he runs out of room.
He's not fared against the Rays very well at all throughout his career. But before we get to those numbers, let's take a look at the Indian defense. In the outfield, left to right, Damon, Brantley, and Chu. Across the infield, third to first, Hanahan, Cabrera, Kipnis, and Kochman. Santana will be behind the plate.
Upton bounces this one foul. Let's take a look at those numbers for Masterson against the Rays. How about that? 1-7 with that high earned run average covering 8 starts. 3-2 and a chop by the mound headed to short, and Cabrera throws him out. So Upton with a 10-pitch at bat to start the bottom of the first inning here against Masterson. Here's Carlos Pena. In the start up in Cleveland, Jennings led off against him with a base hit. And then Ben Zobrist home run. Zobrist hitting third in that game. A bouncer up the right side handled by Kochman, and Pena is out number 2, and that gets Ben Zobrist to the plate.
Now that's what Justin Masterson, when he's going well, a lot of ground balls, and that's precisely the reason why Manny Acta likes Hanahan. Jack Hanahan likes to have him at third base, and Casey Kochman, obviously, and he's mostly there all the time anyway for the Indians at first base, because he wants the infield defense because of the amount of ground balls. The last couple of nights with the fly ball pitchers Tomlin and McAllister, we've seen Jose Lopez down at third base going for a little bit more offense.
Here's Ben Zobrist taking a pitch down, 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, the Indians really like Hanahan's defense at third. He's very good with the glove.
When you see the way that their starting rotation lines up, you've got the ground ball guy here in Masterson. You've also got Derek Lowe, big sinker guy, Jimenez, who traditionally over the course of his career has been pretty good at getting the ground ball.
3-0 the count to Ben.
He sees his fair share of playing time.
Close the count to 3-1. Zobrist just 2 of 13, but he did hit that home run off Masterson up in Cleveland, and he draws the walk this time. 2-out walk. And that's going to get Matt Joyce to the plate. Matt off the DL and active last night. He was 0 for 4. Pitch, Masterson throws him a strike. Rays won that game in Cleveland on the 6th, started by Masterson. That was a 10-3 final, and the Rays got 8 runs in 4 1/3 off Masterson, including a couple of home runs. 1-1 the count. So he made 102 pitches in that outing. Scott also connected off him. Joyce fouls it right back. He's down on the count. 1-2. bounces it foul. So still a ball, 2 strikes. Matt had that back issue, reaching around to the oblique area. Rays offense suffering while he was gone. The Rays just trying to get some semblance of a regular offense with their everyday guys in there. Sharp swing and a foul ball.
Hey, you'd like to have a certain block of hitters that you can put, I would like to say, in the same spots every day, but close to the same spots every day. Joe Madden has not been afforded that luxury. You hope that with Matt Joyce coming back, it becomes a little bit more solidified. Trying to build some consistency.
There goes the runner, and the pitch is foul. That pitch, a fastball in on him.
You talk about fighting a pitch off. Matt Joyce in a little bit of a brawl with that fastball.
It's like covering up in the corner.
Trying to avoid the standing 8 count. Always.
Yep.
Trying to avoid the standing 8 count.
Without exception. 1-2. Fouls this one the other way. Upton grounded out to short. Pena grounded out to first. Silver's walk. 1-2 the count to Matt Joyce. Runner goes again, and a ground ball through the right side into first. Silver's will head to third. Well, the Rays have a couple extended at bats here in the first inning, and this one works out to be a base hit for Matt Joyce. First and third with 2 gone.
Well, just perfectly placed here by Matt Joyce. Chops this ball into the turf, gets it by Kochman. Kipnis can't cover it, gets out into right field. Wasn't like Kipnis was going to cover there. He had held his ground, just could not get to it. Now the Rays with an opportunity here with 2 outs.
Jeff Keppinger. Pitch is outside, a slider sweeping away. 1-0. Keppinger hitting .317 off a 2-hit night in the game last night. He went 2 for 4. Taps it foul. 1-1. Rays with an opportunity to strike early. Cleveland out 1-2-3 in the top of the first. The Rays with a 2-out threat in the bottom of the inning. And that's going to be a strike on the corner. 1-2. Runner goes, the pitch wide and no throw. Joyce is in with a steal. Something off that slider, and it really pitch well off the plate, and a good pitch to run on.
Yeah, the right pitch to run on, and even better with the location. You see how far Santana had to reach down and away from himself. Too long to come up and make a throw there.
2-men in scoring position. The 2-2 pitch. Little tap. That's going to be a foul ball. Just foul, and Santana jumped on it immediately. That ball's fair. No chance to throw him out, but it rolled just across the line. Well, the runners return to second and third. Keppinger making his way back to the plate. Two ground ball outs, then the walk. Moved to third on the base hit. The steal And Joyce, second and third. And another 2-2 pitch. Ground ball hit to short. Cabrera makes the throw to first, and the Rays leave 2 without scoring a run. We go to the second, no score.
Tropicana Field. Let's take a look at the scouting report tonight on Michael Brantley, brought to you by Coventry Healthcare of Florida. July heat. This guy comes in to this series red hot here in July. 439 average. 3 of his 4 home runs on the season have come in July. And he's finding another way here at Tropicana Field. The Rays have held him hitless, 0 for 3. However, he has drawn 5 walks. So still no hits in this series, but an on-base percentage of .625.
Yeah, he's no hits, 0 for 3. His hitting streak snapped the other night. He went 0 for 1 with 3 walks. So he's hitting at even .300 to start this game. And the first pitch to him is a ball. Brantley, Santana, and then Hafner. How about that for July? Pitch, the strike. It's 1-1. Brantley touched Hellickson for a home run up in Cleveland. There's a liner up the right field side, headed for the corner. Brantley's headed for second. Joyce over with a pickup, and Brantley's turning the corner on his way to third, and is safe at third base. Brantley never broke stride, and Joyce waited for that ball to come out of the corner.
He took advantage of that ball. The ball basically hit off the yellow stripe down the wall. It divides fair and foul territory. And instead of this ball rolling around the back of the wall like so many do for a double, watch this ball hit and bound back towards the infield. And then Matt Joyce has to go over and get it. And that little delay is what allowed Brantley to get into third.
Now you anticipate that ball coming off the wall and the base back around to you.
Absolutely. Well,
kick the other way.
Yeah, 9 out of 10, 99 out of 100. That's exactly what they do. Very little room there for it to hit and bounce straight back a couple of feet.
Santana takes a curveball for a strike.
Yeah, because even if that ball rolls into foul territory, that wall is still slanted, the short wall out there. So either way, it's going to roll around. But Brantley fortunate.
4th triple of the year for Brantley. Now the count is 1-1 to Santana. That corner we're talking about there And normally speaking, the ball is going to roll right around the base of the wall.
And that wall is flat from here to here, and that's it. So it's got to hit right on that to be able to bounce straight back, and that's where it went.
2-1.
Tell you what, though, you go back to the swing there of Brantley. You know, a guy that was 80-mile-an-hour changeup did a great job of not trying to do too much with that pitch, trusting his hands. That's the sign of a guy who's swinging the bat very well.
Pulled foul toward the bullpen, and the count is 2-2. Down in front of Tom Wiedenbauer, the first base coach of the Indians. Our outfielder out of the Houston system. Spent most of his playing time in their organization. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Santana flat-footed on that fastball.
Yeah, he was fooled. Tried to make a swing here with 2 strikes. The foot comes down and everything. Looked like he was looking for a pitch middle of the plate in. Looking for a changeup. That fastball right by him. Prevent the opportunity to drive in the run. Big strikeout.
Now the infield is going to pull up here with Travis Hafner, the DH. And the Rays will send Elliott Johnson a couple steps to the first base side of second. Picket line on the right side. The pitch is down. Hafner hitting .226 with 8 home runs. Hellickson coming off the outing Friday in the Red Sox series. Took the loss in a 3-1 game, but came away from that feeling pretty good about the way he pitched. Joe Madden emphasizing command of the fastball. Here are the numbers for Hellickson against Boston in his last outing. Now we'll go to 2-2.
Still like to see that walk total come down just a little bit. That was his second start in a row. 4 walks.
A couple walks back to back, and then later in the game an intentional walk. Pitch count overall this year per inning has been up around 17. Command of the fastball comes in. Quality strikes. Strikes that in particular locations is what he's after. A good first inning, 13 pitches. A chop to the right side. The runner will have to hold, and Zobridge will toss to first. So he got the right kind of out there. Chopper, strikeout, and the ground out. 2 gone after the leadoff triple.
Boy, a couple of big hitters there for Jeremy, picking up the strikeout and then working Hafner over to where he gets the easy, routine rollover chopper to Zobrist. And breaking ball. See, he keeps that ball in the outer half, forces Hafner to have to reach for it. Boy, that is good scouting, obviously, to get those guys in that little picket fence on the right side, because that's a ball that you'd love to see your hitter hit the other way. They know Hafner won't do that.
Johnny Damon slashing at that fastball and fouling it away. Strike 1. Damon hitting .227.
I think, you know what? I think Johnny Damon was clean shaven yesterday.
Well, it's past 5 o'clock the following day.
What are you doing?
Foul ball back. 2. Just comes natural.
Yeah.
Two strikes the count. Let's see.
Okay, well, then it was game 1. I know when this series started, he didn't have anything on that face. Now he's got a full beard. It's impressive.
Here's the 0-2. It's away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, let's take a look. Here's game 1, pregame.
Okay, then it was the series before the All-Star break. He had no facial hair at all.
As much as he tried, there was none.
Trying to make conversation. Yeah, see, that's what happens.
Ground ball right side. Hellickson's going to have to get over there, and it's close. He just beat him. Hellickson taking the toss for Pena. Damon out of there. The Indians get the leadoff triple by Brantley. Leave him at third. Rays coming into bat in the bottom of the second. No score. Donates $100 to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation for every Tampa Bay Rays home run televised on Sun Sports and Fox Sports Florida. Luke Scott, he's going to chop one through the open side of the infield and through into center. Luke Scott going after that first pitch fastball, has himself a base hit.
Now he got a pitch away that he could handle. He had a lot of territory to work with over there, and he just chops it right in the hole. Mark Wegner was the only one that had a play on that. He got out of the play.
Desmond Jennings swings and misses. Strike 1. Desmond hitting 7th in the lineup. And a bunt attempt. Jennings bunts right through that one. Nothing at 2. We've seen more of that from Jennings. Saw a couple of sacrifice bunts the other night. More of that since he's been down in the lineup. And that's something hitting him down in the lineup that Joe Madden says may last for a while. Like for him to Regain some confidence down there. Find the zone a little bit better.
Take a little bit of the pressure off. You don't feel like you have to be the leadoff guy, the table setter. You can go down there and kind of, as Joe likes to talk about, redefine the strike zone a little bit, build some confidence, and get on a little bit of a roll.
Tap third base side, hand-to-hand, bare hands it, and the throw not in time. The Rays have 2 men on with nobody out. Hanahan's only chance was to bare hand, and then he really didn't have a chance as Jennings had this infield hit beaten.
Well, it was slim off the bat. It went to none when Hanahan had to kind of take a step to the right as that ball moved away from him. Very little chance here and 0 chance by the time he got to it. Had to throw way across his body, too much speed.
The Rays with a couple of base runners in the first left them there. That came with 2 outs. Now the first 2 men aboard in the bottom of the second. Here's Jose Lobaton. Lobaton lifts it down the left field line, slicing foul and out of play. Easy does it. Strike the count. Masterson set to go to work, and Lobaton gets timeout.
There's the one danger here for the Rays is Masterson still very good at getting the ground ball, looking for a double play here.
Pitch is up. It's 1-1. Now, when Masterson is right, he'll throw a heavy sinker and get a lot of ground balls.
Well, that's why sinker ballers, they're going to give up hits because ground balls are going to find holes. They typically aren't big strikeout guys. So you're going to give up your fair share of hits, but you get so many ground balls, you're able to turn them into double plays.
1-2. Rays with another threat here. It's been tough against the AL Central for the Rays. And the chopper to short. Cabrera will have to go to first. The ball not hit hard, and so they get the out. Scott goes to third, and Jennings advances into scoring position at second.
Well, if you're going to hit a ground ball, that's the version to hit, the chopper. Lobaton pounds that ball right into the ground, and because of the chopping action on it, there's just not nearly enough time to turn any kind of a double play, and that serves as basically a bunt.
Well, let's see what Elliott Johnson can do here in this situation with 2 men in scoring position and 1 out. Hops and foul. It's out of play. Slider from Masterson.
Yeah, it acted almost like a cutter too, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him go back to that pitch and try to run it even a little bit further in. You saw that swing by Elliott. He could get that ball in on the label and try to get a little infield pop-up.
And there's a line drive, base hit into right. Scott's going to score. The Rays take the lead. On the line, base hit by Elliott Johnson. It's 1-0 Tampa Bay.
Now the thing is, you've got to throw it in the right location. That one was right out over the plate. If you're going to throw it, you try to come in and jam them like the foul ball did. It almost looked like they were going to backdoor that. Santana was setting up on the outer half of the plate, and that ball cuts back middle. This is where Santana is. It just comes right back into the barrel. Too easy.
So Elliott Johnson, who all year has swung a good bat from the left side, he came into this game, Elliott Johnson, hitting .318 as a left-handed hitter. And now up and showing the bunt, takes a fastball riding in on him. BJ started this contest for the Rays lineup in the bottom of the first, working a 10-pitch at bat. 6 of 14 lifetime against Masterson. Up the right side, that ball is going to be a foul ball. Just fouled, and I'm not sure Upton knew exactly where that ball was. Either that or he thought it was really foul, because that ball had a chance to fall fair.
Yeah, I mean, you're running up the first base line, so you have a good look at it. However, it was so close to being fair, and your look is not definitive at all. And yeah, he's looking around wondering where that pitch is, or where that ball off the bat is.
You know, I think that ball was in on him so much he was surprised that it wasn't foul, maybe even out of play. When you see a ball in contact made where he made contact, a lot of times that's deflected back and fouls to the right instead of up the right field line. And starting to stop off first by Johnson. Pitch is up. See again, Upton shortening on the bat. So 1-2 count. Breaks the pitch, lifted into right. Chu will have to go back. Jennings at third tags. He will score, and back to first goes Johnson. Sacrifice fly by Upton, and the Rays lead 2-0. 31st run batted in for Upton.
Now BJ got that ball deep enough. Chu's got a good arm out and right, but with Desmond Jennings on third, way too deep. Rays strike first here, a couple of runs in the second inning.
Well, now it's Carlos Pena, who grounded out his first time. Carlos ended this game a couple of career home runs, 6 out of 22 now against Masterson. There goes Johnson. The pitch is high and away. Throw! Not in time. A stolen base. It's number 16 for Elliott Johnson. Now tied with Desmond Jennings for the team lead in steals.
And almost a pitch out there for Santana. Easy pitch to handle. That tells you all you need to know about the jump that Elliott Johnson got. Got in there pretty easily. It's 2 stolen bases for the Rays here in this ball game, bringing the total against Masterson to 14 on the season.
And it's popped up by Pena. Left side, and Cabrera in the outfield a few steps. So the Rays come up with 2. At the end of 2-0 Tampa Bay.
let's check out our Autoway text poll question of the night. Which of the following fan-submitted nicknames is your favorite? Little Twitter deal they did for our Fox Studios. Wade Swade Davis, TB1. BJ the Blanket Upton, TB2. David the Cashier Price, TB3. Desmond Greenlight Jennings, TB4. Brooke Stone Cold Conrad, TB5. Text your vote to 789-789. Orestes Estrada is Mr. Nickname, and they came up with that question down there in our Fox Studios. Guys, speaking of questions on Website Wednesday, our first one comes from 3 different viewers. Jeanette, Allen, and Dennis all want to know about when the Rays made that roster move for Matt Joyce. Why was Will Rhymes the gentleman who was optioned out? Guys, back to you.
All right, here's Casey Kochman to lead off the 3rd inning, and the first pitch to him is a strike. One of the, I don't know if it's the first tenet, but it's among the top of, I think, most baseball front office people, is they want to preserve as much talent within an organization as they can. And there was some question prior to the move they made with Will Rhymes when Matt Joyce came back. Would that mean that maybe Hideki Matsui would be dropped from the roster? Well, they want to preserve as much talent as they can. Rhymes was the guy who had an option, so they could do that with him, send him to the minor leagues, and then have him back here at a moment's notice and in the configuration of the club. And Joe Madden spoke to that the other day about how playing time for Rhymes would be diminished with Joyce out there every day and right, which means Zobrist would come into the infield. That's going to take a lot of playing time away from Will Rhymes, and in case the Rays would need him again, a lot better off for the team if he's playing on a regular basis at AAA. That seems to make sense to me.
Yeah, that's, I mean, just to add to that, that's pretty much it.
3-1 the count to Casey Kochman. Pops it up. Zobrist making the call from second. 1 away. And you know, when you think about having the bat of Hideki Matsui around, and you know, whether he's going to pinch hit or maybe DH occasionally and maybe get a spot in the outfield once in a while, but a threat like that on your bench, all you have to do is think about Dan Johnson. And those 2 home runs spread over a number of seasons that Dan Johnson hit were so big for this franchise. Just the threat of a guy who can hit the ball out of the ballpark on the bench. Foul ball straight back. Jack Hanahan fouling it right back toward the Indians TV booth. Those guys are active tonight.
Did I hear skin? I think we got skin. I think Manning not real happy with himself.
Rick tried a diving catch on that one. Fortunately, they held him in the booth.
Whoa!
Just way wide, away from Hellickson. Hellickson almost broke into a smile there. Well, let's take a look at Rick Manning. Now, he was a great center fielder with a lot of range. And then Hellickson tried to throw one, we're not quite sure where.
Tried the corner.
Yeah, it was just a little bit outside. 1-1 the count. Fly ball into right. Joyce is there. Boy, that changeup, you'll see that a lot.
Well, did you hear the crowd? The swing, the ball off the bat, there's a kind of a lull from the crowd thinking that ball was struck well by Hanahan, but that is the changeup at its very best. Takes that ball from the barrel right to the end, so you get the big swing, you get the good trajectory, but there's nothing on it because it's off the end of the bat.
Breaking ball into Chu. Curveball to start him. Strike 1. One and one. Chop to the right side. Zobrist. The pickup. Chu's out of there. And a 1-2-3 third. Bottom of the inning coming, and the Rays lead 2-0.
Via SAP, brought to you by Coventry Healthcare of Florida.
Now, there you go. You talk about the ingenuity.
There you go.
And stick to it. It's our guy, Rick Manning. This Ben Zobrist bouncing one foul. There's a strike. I mean, he's a man not to be denied.
Well, no, and he's going to give that ball a talking to. Say, listen, next time I put my hands on you, you stay in there.
And looks at a pitch low. It's 1-1. Put Zobrist down in the count. 1-2. Joyce and Keppinger to follow. Two balls, two strikes. Well, you see that slider from Masterson take off every once in a while.
Well, think about it. He throws that pitch from his arm angle. If he gets around it, that ball and the arm speed that he's able to create is going to create that side spin, and it is just going to take off. That same arm angle that gives him such good finish and run on the fastball can lead to some sliders that get big quick.
3-2. And Zobrist walks for the second time. Two walks issued by Masterson, both to Ben Zobrist. Ben now with 60 walks on the year. He came in tied for second in the league in walks. Here's Matt Joyce with Ben drawing that leadoff pass. Moved to first, and he's back in. Foul ball. Matt had a base hit his first time. First, back in. 4-0 for the Rays. No runs, a hit, no errors for Cleveland. Runners takes it close. It's 1-1. At now 4 of 11. You see, Zobrist 9 steals on the year. 6 caught stealings. 2-1. At 4 out of 11 with 2 walks drawn lifetime against Masterson. For the most part with Masterson, you see that fastball and that big slider.
That's it. I mean, those are the two main, the two only, really.
Starting to stop, and the pitch is high. The count is 3-1.
Yeah, that's the only other option that you'll see. 89. Changeup, BP fastball, and that's rare.
Runner goes, and the pitch is high. Fastball up and away. Back-to-back walks. 2 men on with nobody out.
Well, this is just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one. Look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by
Miller Lite.
Santana out there talking with Masterson. So the Rays have had runners in each of the front 3 innings. They scored 2 runs in the second. And another opportunity with Jeff Keppinger up here in the third and men at first and second.
Yeah, nothing has been easy for Justin Masterson up to this point. And now you're seeing the command start to leave him. Rays need to take advantage. 2 lead walks here to lead off the third.
And the first pitch is a strike. Masterson made 30 pitches in the first when the Rays did not score. And they got on the board twice in the second inning. So he's up to 60 pitches right now. 2 on, nobody out. Runners take off. Swing and a miss in the throw into left field. But it's backed up by Cabrera a couple of steps into the outfield. Zobrist steals third and Joyce steals second.
Yeah, and very fortunate there on the throw by Santana, because I thought it was going to be in time to be able to get Zobrist down at third. You see, he got started off flat foot. Santana's got him by plenty, but the throw high and away.
Keppinger chops it back over the mound. This is Kipnis with the throw back to first. Just a moment of confusion there on the infield, but they get the out and the runners hold at second and third.
Well, obviously the Rays not going on contact, and if the ground ball's up the middle, you want to see it by the pitcher. Well, that was hit so softly that Ben just is in a read mode and nothing he could do there. See Matt Joyce down at second, getting a nice secondary, getting off just in case Ben takes off. He can hightail it to third, but Ben wisely stayed put.
Now Luke Scott. Pitch is inside. Slider. Scott opened the second with a base hit and scored the first run of the ball game.
It's another race hitter that's enjoyed some success off Justin Masterson, so he's more than likely going to be very careful here with Luke Scott with runners on second and third.
Cut. Missed the slider. It's 1-1. Well, 11 home runs on the year for Luke Scott. His 10th of the year came off Masterson. That was against the Indians up in Cleveland. Rays with 4 steals tonight. Second and third right now. The runners, and a base hit into right by Scott. Zobrist will score. They'll hold Joyce at third. It's 3-0 Rays. Zobrist scores as Scott shoots it through the right side of the infield. Luke 2 for 2, picking up his 44th run batted in.
That pitch just up and away, but that's the key. It was up, so Luke Scott could go out there and get the barrel on it and hit it hard enough to get it past Kipnis out into right field, leading the Rays' third run.
Trip to the mound. Scott Radinsky, the pitching coach, heads out there as the Indians have a full-scale conference on the hill.
Well, this Saturday night gets a little sweeter when Gavin DeGraw takes the stage following the Rays versus Mariners game. Catch him perform all his hits like I Don't Want to Be, Not Over You, and Sweeter. The concert is free with the purchase of a ticket for that game.
Four pitches for Masterson. One out into the third. Desmond Jennings will hit with men at first and third. And the bunt is foul. Strike one. Jennings had the infield hit down to third in the second inning and scored. Scored on the sacrifice fly by Upton. One ball, one strike. The bunt pushed up the right side. Run's going to score, and there's no play at first. Kochman came up with the ball, looking longingly at first base, and Kipnis could not get over there. And the Rays pick up another run. It's 4-0.
Yeah, that is absolutely amazing. The Rays, the propensity for them running that play, and how that there really is just no defense for it unless the pitcher is able to get to that ball and flip it home. If not, usually your only plays at first, and in this case, the defense positioned so poorly that you didn't even have a play there. Kochman had no play, but there you go, nothing.
So Jennings drives in the run, 4-0. Jose Lobaton. Down and in. Scott's at second. Jennings at first base. The runner takes off from second. The pitch is foul, out of play. Scott took a beat and headed to third, and Jennings was trailing him.
Joe Madden's turning this ball game into a track meet. I mean, getting runners out there, doesn't matter who they are, sending them here against Masterson. Coming into this game, 12 out of 18 tonight, Rays 4 out of 4, I believe, at this point.
That's correct. And a 4-run lead, 1-1 to count to Lobaton. Checks the pitches down. Zobrist and Joyce open the inning, drawing walks, pulled off a double steal. One out, Luke Scott singled home a run. Jennings bunted his way on to pick up a run batted in and a base hit. The Rays 4 runs, 6 hits. Foul, back and out of play. 2-2. First two men reached in the second. The Rays turned that into 2 runs. First two men reaching here in the third, and the Rays have turned that into 2 more runs. Pitch is inside. The count goes to 3-2. The Rays with 4 runs in this game. They've been held to 4 runs or fewer in 16 of their last 19 games. And now throw back to second, and Scott just gets back in ahead of Cabrera, breaking in from short and trying to put the tag on it. He's trying to get their 5th run of the night home. There's a look as Scott started to take off.
Boy, that was very, very close. Ball started there by Scott, getting ready to go. Inside move there by Masterson.
And a tap foul. Rays trying to pick up their 5th run. Give you an idea how important 5 runs would be. The Rays over the last 2 years, if they score 5 runs or more, they're 92-11. If they get to 5 runs, 92-11.
I like the team's chances.
They lead 4-0 tonight.
Still just 1 out.
And again the 3-2. And he walked it. Lobotone draws a walk, the 3rd of the inning. That will load the bases. Pushes Scott to 3rd. Jennings up to 2nd. Lobotone takes over at 1st with Elliott Johnson due up.
Well, Elliott, the recipient of a slider right out over the plate in his last at bat. He laced that into right field for a base hit. Here's got a chance to blow this game open with the bases juiced.
And he fouls the first pitch. Fastball, strike 1. Masterson now in the mid-70s in pitch count. It up, shallow right, Kipnis out, Chu coming in, and Chu makes the catch. 2 gone.
Well, that's a ball, and it's exactly what happened. But Chu's got to take charge on that. Kipnis running back, you got an opportunity. If he's going to take it, maybe tag up, force him to have to stop, turn and throw. But Chu coming in on a ball this shallow with such a good arm, you're not even going to risk it. Chu calls him off. Catch.
B.J. Upton batting for the 3rd time. 3rd plate appearance. Drove in a run with a fly ball back in the 2nd. Hits again in the 3rd. And that first pitch, fastball well off the plate. Bases loaded with 2 outs. Trip to the mound by Carlos Santana. Ball, no strikes. Masterson coming into this game off a very good outing against the Blue Jays up in Toronto when he threw 7 shutout innings against them. And this pitch is in. 2-0. He walked only 1 man in the 7 innings, striking out 5. Shut him out through 7 on 5 hits. Rays have 4 runs, 6 hits tonight. Batting in the third, a big cut and a miss. 2-1.
There's that changeup by Masterson that he very rarely goes to, and very rarely against right-handed hitters. You see it at all, it's usually against lefties.
Scott Barnes up in the bullpen. Rays wound up scoring 8 runs off him and 4 1/3 in Cleveland. Ground ball chopped to third. Hanahan steps on the bag. That retires the side. Rays come up with a couple. Luke Scott with a base hit into right. And then Desmond Jennings punting the other run home. It's 4-0 Tampa Bay. Lead 4-0. Take a look at our Toyota trends here. There's 16 starts for Hellickson this year and last year. Last year at 321, 8-7, 4-6 this year with a 348. And the opponent's average, the biggest swing there. And the BA/BIP. That's a big swing as well. Higher average. Balls put into play.
He's still, actually, with the BA/BIP going up that much, it's still under the league average.
There's Cabrera going after a changeup and hitting a fly ball to right. 1 pitch, 1 out. Here in the 4th inning. Well, let's check in with Todd Callis now.
Thanks, Dwayne. It is a website Wednesday, which means fans can ask questions of the booth. By the way, a lot of fans love your vintage guitar magazine. PJ, Bill, Trey, and Duffy all commented on the vintage guitar before the ball game started. Also, Doug and Ben want to know about Wade Davis. Brian Anderson talked about him in the pregame show. Do you think Wade's future is in the bullpen or back as a starter, guys?
Jason Kipnis pitches a strike. Well, that solid body electric guitar, the reason for rock and roll, really.
I like the Gibson Les Paul.
Do you?
I do.
That's your favorite?
The Gibson Les Paul.
Well, there you are. Then that settles that whole discussion. This went down. And then how about, do you like Wade Davis as a starter or out of the bullpen?
You know what? It really it depends on the team that he's on, what role. I know Wade Davis, obviously, unless his opinion has changed, and I doubt it has, he wants to start. But he's willing to do what the team needs, be a team-first kind of a guy and go to the bullpen. And he's done very well coming out of the bullpen. But he's one of those guys where his stuff translates either way. He can go out to the bullpen, be a fastball, changeup, curveball guy. He can do the same thing out of the starting rotation. I love how the bullpen has made him more aggressive.
Headed to short. Johnson's going to make this play to get Kipnis.
You know, there were times last year as a starter, we'd see him come out 89, 90, and you and I are looking at each other like, what's wrong with Wade? We know he's got more than that. Then all of a sudden he'd get into a little bit of trouble, and you'd see that velocity come up, where now he's forced to come out of that bullpen, especially later in the game, and start letting that fastball go.
Yeah, and what he does and what he gives Joe Madden and Jim Hickey this year in that role is sort of a secret weapon, an extra piece to that pitching staff that most managers and pitching coaches will not have of that high quality. And that's been a valuable part of this team this year, the role that Wade Davis has filled, strike to Brantley. And I think you're right. All things being equal, he'd like to be in the rotation. That's where his future is,
sure.
and it will be there. He's going to make a lot of starts in his major league career. But right now on this club, it's difficult to quantify how important he has been in terms of taking innings and quality innings and key spots.
Well, think about how Joe can use him. He can bring him in if a starter gets knocked out in the third or fourth to buy a couple of innings. He can use him late. He can use him as a setup kind of a guy that can come in and we remember the memorable at bat with Elvis Andrus in Texas with the bases loaded where he fell behind. Then it was 10 or 11 straight heaters before he finally retired him. So he can pitch in those big tight situations late in the game on the line. He's got the guts, he's got the stuff. He can do a lot of different things, and he's really adapted well to that role.
A ball, 2 strikes, the count. Up shot. It's a foul ball, holding the count. Now at 1-2. And that really has been the key to this club. The Rays right now in the wild card race, and they're in the race because of their pitching.
Yes.
There's just no question about that. Through all of the injuries and the defensive issues that they've had, still the pitching is what has kept them there.
And the starters haven't been as consistent as you would like, but that bullpen has been locked out.
And that's where Davis comes in. You know, if your starters, if you're not getting as many innings as you'd like out of your starters, and you don't have Wade Davis, the rest of that bullpen starts to operate on fumes pretty quickly.
That's right.
But having him down there gives you another option. 2-2 the count. So in that way, if there's been one guy who's really protected the Rays season, it's been that move by Wade Davis to the bullpen and the job he's done. Full count. 3-2 here to Brantley, who tripled his first time. Fouled away. We'll do that again. Three balls, 2 strikes. Pitch again from Hellickson. Lifted toward the left. Jennings is there. Desmond makes the catch. Bottom of the 4th coming, 4-0 Tampa Bay. Tonight's AT&T trivia question coming up. Question big, which Major League team boasts the top 2 hitters for the month of July, as determined by batting average? 80 pitches thrown here by Masterson through the front 3, including 33 pitches in the 3rd inning. The first pitch off the mid of Santana into the backstop. 1-0 the count to Carlos Pena. Zobrist next, and then Joyce. One and one. Masterson, 27 years old. He was a catcher in high school. Spent some time at San Diego State. Foul ball back. 1-2. Went to Bethel College in Indiana, and then eventually out to San Diego State. Carlos is grounded out to first, is popped to short. Carlos leans back away from that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Is Pena out on strikes. First out here in the home half of the 4th. Let's get the answer to tonight's AT&T trivia question. In the month of July, which team boasts the top 2 hitters? That would be the Pittsburgh Pirates. How about the Pirates?
I know who one of them is.
Oh, there they are. McCutchen. McCutchen has been hitting .490, it seems, for about 2 months now.
Yeah, ridiculous the streak that he's on. I mean, he's got to be the front runner for NL MVP at this point. For power, average, runs batted in. I'll tell you what, Clint Hurdle's squad up there in Pittsburgh, a nice season.
Well, they started the day a game back of Cincinnati in the Central. Zobrist ahead in the count, 3-0. He's already walked twice tonight. Ahead 3-0 this time.
Force field around the plate.
There's a strike. Somehow it broke through that force field, found the strike zone.
Don't do it again. And if it does, it's going to get roped.
3-1. And that's inside. He walks for the 3rd consecutive time. Zobrist heads to first. Next over there with 1 out. Matt Joyce will bat. Matt's been on twice with a single and a walk. Scott Radinsky on the phone to the bullpen. Start to see some stirring down there as Joyce rips it back into right. Chew back to make the catch right before he hits the track, and hustling back to first is Zobrist. Matt gave it a ride, but ball caught just before Chew got to the warning track. Jeff Keppinger up here, looking to get on base for the first time tonight. 0 for 2. Grounded out to short and to the second baseman. And that's a strike on the outside corner.
That's the pitch that Justin Masterson has not been able to repeat tonight like he would like to. That pitch where he's been able to keep that fastball down. A lot of them with that arm angle have been shooting up in the zone.
Now play, 0-2.
That's what's led to a lot of the command issues here, the walks.
The move, the pitch is a ball, and the throw is going to be in time this time. Kipnis puts the tag on Zobrist, who is caught stealing. 4-0 Tampa Bay. Third, and as we go to the fifth, Jeremy Hellickson will face Carlos Santana. Hellickson with a strikeout. He hasn't walked anyone. Gave up a triple to Brantley in the second. It's the only base runner through 4 innings for the Cleveland Indians.
And what a job he did to strand him in that particular inning. He's going down
a lead-off triple.
Yeah, and you got Santana, Hafner, Damon coming up and kept him right there.
Now there's Santana. He struck out on a fastball his first time and takes the fastball away to open this at bat. 1-0. This pitch is down. 2-0. Foul back. 2-1. Right back into the screen, and the count goes to 2-2. We've seen out of Hellickson tonight a little more than what we saw earlier in the year and all of last year in his Rookie of the Year season. To the count. Santana fouls it back.
He's been much more precise tonight. Fastballs have gotten, for the most part, where he's wanted them. He's thrown good changeups in good locations, found the end of bats. Even that fastball there fouled off by Santana was right down that outside corner. You can see that Jeremy's fastball doesn't have a ton of movement to it.
2 and a bouncer foul.
It's not like he's got a big sinker or a lot of tail and run, so he has to rely on where he decides he's going to throw that pitch, it's going to stay true, so he had better get it there.
And now he goes all the way to 3-2. Santana laid off the changeup. Surprised Santana a little bit when he struck him out with that fastball away in the second inning. He came on a 2-2 pitch. Now he's 3-2 with him. And that pitch sails outside. The changeup is wide for the walk. First given up by Hellickson. Right now, let's take time out. And Laura.
Hi, thanks, Dwayne. And yes, we want to make sure everyone follows us on Twitter. It's @SunSportsRays. And I'm actually joined by Jeremy Hellickson's family. Lots of them coming all the way from Des Moines, Iowa to watch Jeremy pitch. A very exciting night for them. And Jeremy tweeted about it. And he said, hey, I'm excited to have my family here in town. Of course, his grandma, Rennie, does not have a Twitter, but he's very close with her, and she's a big part of who raised him as a kid. Now, we have an Inside the Rays coming up on Jeremy Hellickson in August, and you get to find out a lot about this guy because he's kind of quieter. We give you the whole details, Dwayne.
One strike the count here to Hafner. Santana has walked. Hafner takes one wide. 1 ball and 1 strike. Hellickson out of the stretch. Shift is on for Hafner. Now 2-1. Hellickson making his 17th start of the year. Missing wide to Hafner. He's run into a little spot here where he's challenged to find the command that he's had earlier.
Yeah, and the one thing that you want to do here with a 4-run lead in the 5th inning, if the Indians are going to come back on you, make them earn it. Don't give them a running head start with a couple of walks.
3-1 to Hafner. Bounds it back. 3-1 fastball. Now the count is full.
Now you get back to full count. Still have an opportunity here to make a quality pitch. Hafner does not run well at this point. Try to get something on the ground. Not a ground ball pitcher, but try to get something on the ground and get a little 2-for-1 action here.
Santana's the runner at first. Count is full to Hafner. A cut and a miss. Fastball up out of the zone. So down 3-1. He got a fastball by him. 3-2. Fastball by him up to strike him out.
Well, it comes with the fastball up in the zone, and Travis just can't get there. Not real happy with the result either.
It's the first out, and here's Johnny Damon. Damon out on a ground ball to first, his first time. The pitch, a little popper, shallow right. Zobrist angles out to catch that one. Hellickson got it in on Damon, and he pops him up. Time now for the Just for Men Auto Stop foolproof stat. Take a look at the saves leaders, and Fernando Rodney sharing the top spot in the majors with 27. As the Rays count on Fernando Rodney, you can count on Just for Men Auto Stop for foolproof results.
Did you see the last guy on that list? Yeah.
Really?
A real, not Hanahan. It was a true Hanrahan. There he is.
Casey
26
Kotchman
of them.
taking a strike. Well, the Pirates they've got leaders all over the board
There
now.
you go. Yeah, bucket for a promotion right down there. Trying to get to the top.
Let's strike the count on Kotchman. That's a strike. He did go around. Dale Scott on the call. Kotchman hit by that pitch. Casey hit last night. A curveball got him. And this pitch, an 0-2 fastball. But the last thing Hellickson wanted to do.
Yeah, he was drifting over towards first base and pulled this fastball with him. And this just tracking all over Casey. There's nothing you can do on that pitch just to wear it and grimace. Oof. That hurts.
So a walk and a hit batter. And now Jack Hanahan is going to be up there. Hanahan.
Knock off.
A fly ball to right field his first time.
He's
up.
like, if he was a watch, he'd be Folex.
The pitch is down. One ball and no strikes. But then they'd really be bucking for a promotion. Really
trying to get up that coveted arm.
Be motivated.
Yes, yes, you would.
Base runners aboard with 2 outs. Fly ball center field. Upton still on the run, and it's going to be over his head with one hop the fence. Santana has scored. Kotchman's going to score. It's a double for Hanahan. And suddenly the Indians, taking advantage here, have cut this Rays lead in half. It's 4-2. They've cashed in on a walk and a hit batter.
Now, big hit here by Hanahan. This pitch just stays up enough. He's able to get good extension with that swing, arms extended to the barrel, and get a lot of carry to get this over the head of B.J. Upton. You see where he's played. He's going back on it and just can't quite get there. That plates 2 runs. It's a tough blow here. Right back in it.
So Hanahan, with his 9th double of the year, has 22 runs batted in. Shin-Soo Choo becomes the potential tying run. And he takes a strike. Over 20 pitches in this inning. Ball toward the middle, and it gets beneath Elliott Johnson's glove, scooting into center, and the run will score. And now it's 4-3. Choo right up the middle and right through into center.
Well, even if that play can't be made by Elliott Johnson, you'd like to at least see this ball knocked down. They had him positioned well, shading up the middle. That ball was hit hard by Choo, and it just got underneath the glove. Ball hit It's on the other side, and you just like to at least see that ball, even if you can't make the play at first base. If you knock it down, you keep hand-to-hand at third. It squirts by him. He knows it.
Well, as Drupal Cabrera is going to be the next hitter as the Rays talk it over on the mound. Hellickson now at 76 pitches here in the 5th inning, and just like that, the 4-run lead is gone. It's down to only 1.
Boy, it does not take much. The 2 out, hitting Casey Kochman on a pitch you're trying to come in, and you yank it up and in. And then all of a sudden, base hit, base hit. It's a 1-run game.
And Cabrera, who's 0 for 2 tonight, he hit the ball hard his first time up, and Zobrist made a leaping catch on it at second. Curveball to start him, and he takes it for strike 1. Over to first, back in goes Chu. This one headed toward the gap in right center field. Cut off by Upton. Chu's going to go to third. Cabrera picks up his first hit, lining a breaking ball into the outfield.
Yeah, a good curveball to start this at bat against Cabrera. That one just kind of hung up out over the plate. And unfortunately, B.J. Upton is able to get over to this baseball, keep it in front of him. See him just follow that ball down in. And so many times you throw that good breaking ball, you follow it up with one that's not as good, and it gets hit hard.
Jason Kipnis. Who takes a fastball in strike 1. Pitch on the corner. Kipnis came into the game hitting .386 with runners in scoring position. First, it's Cabrera back in, choose the runner at third. Spot now for Hellickson, protecting only a 1-run lead. Kipnis fouls it back. A couple of fastballs here, and the count is 0-2. Kipnis on a changeup with a fly ball to right in the first. Went ahead and got him on a ground ball to short the last time. He's 0-2 with him right here. Goes up, fastball out of the zone, 1-2. It. A little piece of an off-speed pitch, the changeup. 1-2 again to Kipnis. He fouls it one more time, forcing another pitch. He's on the verge of 30 pitches. Hellickson 29 pitches here in the 5th. Started with the walk drawn by Santana, and then with 2 outs and 2 strikes, he hit Kochman to keep the inning going. The Indians have scored 3 runs since then. The 1-2. And a fastball just a bit off the plate end that stayed there. That evens the count at 2-2.
Trying to close him out in. Very close.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Ground ball right side for Ben Zobrist. Comes up on him. Cradles it and makes the throw to first. The Indians are finally out, but they scored 3, and the Rays have a 1-run lead.
Indians will experience a Rays game from the all-inclusive Hancock Bank Club, offering extraordinary seating and luxurious lounge and dining areas. The Hancock Bank Club features an upscale menu and inclusive drink options. For tickets and more information, call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com. Oh, hey-oh.
Two strikes to count to Jeff Keppinger. The Rays have to go back to work here. Their lead down to only 1. At one point it was 4-0. Now 4-3. And a little tap back to the hill. And the toss over there. Keppinger's out for the 3rd straight time. Out number 1 in the 5th. And let's check in with Todd.
Dwayne, over 10% of the questions tonight on Website Wednesday are about Evan Longoria. Longo did work out again today at Tropicana Field. There is a little bit of news involving Longoria, and that is he will accompany the team on the next road trip when the team goes to Baltimore and then to the West Coast. So that's a good sign. Longoria will be with the team during that trip, but Joe Madden said there is no further discussion right now as to when that could lead to a rehab. Good to see Longo getting his workout in. Guys, the latest question comes about the two guys facing each other right now, Justin Masterson or Luke Scott. Cullen wants to know who's got the better chops, who's got the better beer, guys.
Want to know the count here. Luke Scott facing Masterson. 2-0. Well, they're really kind of different different chops there.
Yeah, I mean,
and,
you've got
Luke.
Gladiator on the left, and you've got Yoder on the right.
There's a strike. So it's 2-1.
Tell me.
I mean, I'm not even sure they would be in the same category if you were going to compare them.
Well, they are different. Different, you know. Usually Masterson's will include, you know, something over the top of the lip. He decided to go against that. So that's that look. And then Luke's just...
And the chin semi-filled.
Yeah.
And not so with Luke Scott.
No, that's
Luke
a look, and he's stayed with it all year. That's the thing. You got to appreciate the consistency, even through the stretch. When he went 0 for 41, never changed the facial hair, just keeps on.
Staying with it, and things are working out now. He's on base for the 3rd straight time.
You remember he did that in Baltimore, where he did the no sideburns. He did the 80s straight back and down. And it was funny because that entire season I thought, what is this guy doing? That's such an 80s look. Well, then you get to know him and you're like, oh, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
He wore an 80s look for an entire season.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I want to know the count to Desmond Jennings.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
Hair Nation, Teen Wolf,
Yeah, man.
all the above.
Stretching through the decades. Les Paul now up to the 80s. There's a strike. 1-1.
It ends for me in the 90s.
Gotcha. A little avant-garde beyond that.
Yep.
And an end-line drive and a base hit for Jennings. So the Rays trying to build an inning and rebuild their lead, which they've seen drop to just the 1 run. Jennings is on for the 3rd straight time.
Oh, after Luke Scott, look at this, right off the end of the bat. Right off the end of the bat, but strong enough to get that ball out into the outfield. Grass, turf. I got 1st and 2nd here with 1 out.
And the hard-throwing right-hander, Esmil Rogers, loosens. Rays have drawn 6 walks. They've accumulated 7 hits. Lobaton. Pitch is outside, 1-0. Lobaton chopped to short in the 2nd. He walked in the 3rd. Jose Lobaton still looking for his first big league home run. And the 1-0. Masterson misses away. 2-0. Masterson with a couple 30-pitch innings, 30 in the 1st and 33 in the 3rd. He'll get another visit here. Scott Radinsky, the pitching coach, trotting out of the dugout to the mound. He'll give the bullpen a few more tosses. Masterson up well over 100 pitches at this point. One-run ball game, 107 pitches for Masterson. They'll break up this conversation.
Do you think the home plate umpire, in this case Dan Iasagna, do you think they get annoyed when they kind of let them do their thing out there, then they jog all the way out to the mound, and as soon as they get there, everybody runs away?
They were sensitive. It could hurt their feelings, but I don't think they really cared.
Yeah, probably at the end of the day.
They just wanted to scatter people back to their spots and get the thing going again.
Then run out there with your arms waving wildly.
This pitch is outside. 3-1. They just stand behind the plate and yell at them. Move it along. Let's go.
Bruce Fleming did that.
Yes.
Joe West may do that.
That's right. 3-0 the count, and Lobaton draws another walk. 7 walks drawn by the Rays, and just like that, the bases are loaded. And Manny Acta comes out of the dugout. That's going to be it for Master City. Works 4 1/3. Pitching change coming back in a moment. Here the Rays have a 4-3 lead, and the bases loaded with 1 out in the 5th inning. Boston has an 8-1 lead on the White Sox at Fenway in the bottom of the 5th, and Esmil Rogers preparing to go to work.
Well, on for the 14th time, ERA 2.25. We've seen Esmil Rogers a couple of different times. Big time fastball.
Here's Elliott Johnson. He's been jumped a couple times on that fastball for home runs, and Elliott Johnson looking for it right there and got a slider instead. Strike 1.
And a very good high quality slider there by Rogers, breaking that down and in to get ahead of Elliott.
And a bouncer foul. He gets ahead 0-2.
Slider curveball. A little more down action there. Some velocity taken off. We saw him come in the other night, pump that first pitch fastball to Desmond Jennings, and he put it about 15 rows deep.
And a bouncer foul, so he's staying away from that here. That has an 0-2 count on Elliott Johnson. Scott at third, Jennings at second, and Lobaton at first. And Johnson is out on strikes. Did not see a fastball in the entire at bat. 2 gone.
4 breaking balls by Rogers, and he finally gets him on one on the outer half. You see him breaking that ball from off the plate to the corner, and that swing there by Elliott, just trying to stay alive, and he misses it.
Well, here's B.J. Upton. Upton jumped him up in Cleveland, hit 1 out. So let's see if he stays away from the fastball to B.J. And B.J. fouls the breaking pitch back. So no fastballs yet from Rogers, who can get it up there in the high 90s.
BJ had a pretty good swing at that breaking ball. Stayed on it very nicely, just fouling it off, but missing by much.
Pitch is down. 1 ball, 1 strike. BJ hits it on the ground to third. Hanahan wins the race to the bag. Beating Jennings in there, and that retires the side. No runs. 4-3 Rays through 5.
As the innocent project of Florida, and that gentleman taking a picture right there is William Dillon, special guest of the Tampa Bay Rays today. William was falsely incarcerated in 1981 in Brevard County for 27 years. A free man now. He says, I'm just 24 years old as a free man. Former baseball player, says he's a big fan of the Rays and the Florida Gators. Got to throw out the first pitch and sing the national anthem. Just talked to him a moment ago. You see his shirt saying not guilty. Despite 27 years behind bars without reason, he has a great attitude on life. Lives in North Carolina, but he says he watches us a lot and cheers on the Rays as much as he can. Guys, back to you.
All right, Todd, thank you. We'll go to the 6th inning. The Rays holding a 4-3 lead. Jeremy Hellickson made 31 pitches in the 5th, and out here to open the 6th facing Michael Brantley. Fastball to start him, and that's a strike. Hellickson almost got out of that 5th inning without a run being scored. In fact, 2 outs with a runner on. He had 2 strikes on Kochman when he hit Kochman with a pitch. A liner right to Upton in center field, and Brantley's out of there. And the Indians went on to build a 3-run inning in the 5th. Carlos Santana. Ball, no strikes. Santana started the 5th with a walk and scored. Goes off the change. The count is 1-1. Tigers have a big lead on the Angels, 7-1. Rays and the Tigers starting this day with identical records. Tied for the 2nd wild card spot. It's outside 2-1. Oakland started the day with 46 wins, but the A's winners, so they're also 47 and 44. And strike 2 to Santana, 2-2. Boston leading the White Sox 8-1 in the bottom of the 5th at Fenway. Our last check in on that. There's a high fly ball to center, right center, and Joyce is there to make the catch, and right, 2 gone.
Well, Matt Moore is one of baseball's bright young stars, and you can take a piece of him home with you this Sunday. The first 10,000 kids 14 and under get a Matt Moore bobblehead presented by Dex Imaging. Rays take on the Mariners as part of Family Fun Day presented by the Tampa Bay Times. He likes the location of that pitch.
2 outs in the 6th. It's Travis Hafner. Hafner, it's a line drive, slicing a bit toward left center, scooped up by BJ to hold him to a single. Hafner with the breaking ball in the center, and that's hit number 5 for Cleveland. Here's Johnny Damon. Damon 4th on the active list of total hits. The pitch is a strike. Now 1-1.
Continues to move up the pitches seen list.
Ground ball. Zobrist at second with a toss to Elliott Johnson at second for the force. Home half of inning 6 coming, 4-3 Tampa Bay. Hit by Luke Scott, and then the first and third bunt by Desmond Jennings made it 4-0. But with 2 outs in the 5th inning, The Indians struck for 3, 2 coming on the Jack Hanahan double. Hanahan then scored on Shin-Soo Choo's base hit. That made it 4-3. The Indians left 2 men on in the 5th. And we go to the home half of the 6th inning with Carlos Pena about to step in against the right-hander Esmil Rogers. Pena, Zobrist, and Joyce against Rogers. Rogers throws a breaking ball that stays outside. The Rays have not seen one fastball from Rogers since he took over in the 5th inning in relief of Masterson. The fastball away off the plate. The count is 2-0. Fastball at 95. Upstairs.
Well, this MLB on Fox season, Fox Sports is proud to support the Boys and Girls Clubs of America, a place where youth can reach their full potential as productive, caring, responsible citizens. To learn more, please visit greatfutures.org/Fox Sports.
Here's the 3-0. And the fastball taken for strike 1. Ball 4 is wide. It's the 8th walk drawn by the Rays in this game. The thing that concerns you a little bit, they've had 8 walks and 7 hits and still only lead by 1 run. They'd like to put together a big inning here in the 6th, and they have a leadoff walk to see if they can get something started. Ben Zobrist has walked 3 times tonight and scored a run. Pitch is a strike. Fastball. Quick move to first. Carlos back in. Pitch is outside. 1-1. It's foul right back into the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 4 runs, 7 hits for the Rays. 3 runs, 5 hits for Cleveland. Rays got all 4 of their runs off the starter Masterson in 4 1/3. And there is strike 3 called. Zobrist caught looking at a fastball.
Just catches him by surprise. Trying to come in with that pitch, and it ends up middle. Then just not able to pull the trigger.
There's Matt Joyce. Breaking ball stays wide. 2 ball, no strikes. 1-1, a fastball foul back. Kyle Farnsworth up in the Rays bullpen along the right field line. And Joyce started to go, but Dale Scott says he checked in time. 2-1. Drops in, a breaking pitch. 2-2. We've seen Rogers start these hitters with breaking stuff and then incorporate the fastball in. At 2-1, a breaking ball for a called strike. Two. And there's strike 3 called, a breaking ball. So Joyce caught looking.
Well, it didn't look down with Santana going down to one knee. I thought the pitch was pretty good with the height, but did it catch the outside corner? It starts off the plate. Yeah, see, that was the thing. The height of the pitch was fine, but wasn't going to be able to catch that outside corner. Certainly doesn't look like it.
And according to Foxtrack, all 5 of those pitches were out of the strike zone.
I think that maybe they're just tired. Dan Iasagna's tired of calling balls. Been doing it all day.
Keppinger, and he takes a pitch too low, a fastball. So Joyce saw 5 pitches, and on a 2-2 count was called out on strikes. But all 5 of those pitches apparently were off the plate. There's a pitch inside, 2-0. Rays record for walks drawn is 12 in a game. That was an 11-inning game against the Marlins in June of 2010. Snap throw to first, the runner back in. The pitch is that was called a strike. Scoreboard as 3-0, but I think it's 2-1. Pena at first with 2 outs. It is 2 balls and a strike. It's too high. Breaking pitch up. 3-1. Pitch. Ground ball headed to the left side, and Hanahan makes a great play and gets rid of the ball on the throw down to second to force Pena. A very good play by Hanahan, and the Rays are finished in the 6th. On to the 7th, 4-3 Tampa Bay.
4-3. Saturday, August the 4th, the UFC returns to Fox with 4 massive fights, including knockout artist Shogun Rua taking on Brandon Vera in the biggest fight of his career, plus a huge bout between former UFC champ Lyoto Machida and rising star Ryan Bader. UFC Fight Night on Fox, sponsored by Bud Light, is live from Los Angeles on Saturday, August the 4th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. in the West.
Kyle Farnsworth will be the new pitcher for the Rays. 6 innings for Jeremy Hellickson. So Farnsworth comes on. Visit from Zorro momentarily. There's Kochman. Pitch is a strike. Kochman. Hand to hand, and then Chu. Kochman popped out to second in the third. Hit by a pitch to start their 3-run fifth. 2 outs. Count is 1-1. Hellickson worked 6 innings, allowing 3 runs, 5 hits, made 96 pitches. 2-1 to count. Bullpen has been very good all year, but certainly recently outstanding.
I mean, this bullpen, wow. Everybody, they're getting contributions from everybody, too. It's not like a couple of these guys are leading the way.
Farnsworth goes to 3-2, missing with a fastball.
You had that little streak they were on, you know, scoreless innings pitched, and a couple of games where 6 guys were used.
Kochman stays alive. See another 3-2 pitch.
That's the other thing, too, is Joe Maddon's got different styles down out of that bullpen that he can go to. Sinker baller, finesse lefty, power righties.
Ground ball shortstop. Johnson's throw is in time. Kochman is the first out here in the 7th.
Speaking of power lefties, there he is.
Jake McGee loosening in the bullpen. Farnsworth worked an inning in the game on Monday here against Cleveland. Gave up a walk and a hit, no runs, and picked up a strikeout. Jack Hanahan had a big hit, a 2-run double in the 5th, and then made a very good play down at third. He's made a couple good plays at third base for the Indians. Strike one. That's a strike at the knees, 0-2. One away, 1 ball, 2 strikes. It's 2-2 now. Masterson and Rogers for the Rays. Hellickson and now Farnsworth for the Rays. Masterson Rogers for the Indians against the Rays. The Rays got 6 from Hellickson, and now Farnsworth here in the 7th.
Oh, nice.
Cut the miss. 2 up, 2 down.
Well, listen up, Rays fans. You watched the Rays battle the Tigers on June 30th wearing their 1979 original jerseys, and now you can own a piece of the action. Bid on MLB authenticated game-used jerseys, helmets, pants, and more. All proceeds will benefit the Rays Baseball Foundation and the Moffitt Cancer Center. Visit RaysBaseball.com/TBTC to place your bid.
Chu takes the pitch. Strike around the knees. Chopper right side, and Pena tries to scoop, but misconnects there. And into right field, that's a base hit for Chu. It's 2 for 4.
And do or die type of play for Carlos Pena. That is a tough hop. You're moving to your right there. See where he's at, playing deep, in between hop, and you just take a stab at it. Hope that you gauge the bounce correctly. Tough play.
Jim Hickey's headed to the mound after this 2-out base hit. Asdrubal Cabrera is the hitter for Cleveland. Switch hitting shortstop. Break up their conference. The Red Sox have added 2 in the 6th. They have a 10-1 lead on the White Sox. Ross and Gonzalez have hit home runs in that game for Boston. And the Orioles holding on to a 2-1 lead in the bottom of the 5th inning at Minnesota. And at first is Chu. Cody Ross has hit 2 home runs tonight for the Red Sox. Well, the pitch to Cabrera, and he lines it into right. A base hit. Couple of hops to Joyce. That's going to send Chu to third. Suddenly, again, with 2 outs, the Indians are trying to put an inning together.
Well, there's Asdrubal Cabrera looking to heat up here, coming here in an awful slump.
Well, Kipnis is due, and the Rays have McGee in the bullpen. Joe Madden's out of the dugout and on his way to make a pitching change. So Kipnis will be the hitter, McGee will be the pitcher when we return.
Gulf Coast Honda, Ted Williams Hall of Fame inductees. We're going to find out all about that. Got a great pitching matchup tomorrow. David Price and Ubaldo Jimenez. And I will be breaking down something. And I hope to have that nailed down tonight, because I'm going home after the game, D-Wayne. Got a quick turnaround tomorrow at noon. And go home and get to work. Prepare for tomorrow.
Get to bed early.
Plenty
of sleep.
Jump up early. Quick workout, so I'm feeling, everything's raging.
Yeah, man.
And then go to work.
11:30 airtime.
That's right. Oh, I'll be here.
So, sleep in, wake up.
I'm going to
join the Rays pregame, a little late breakfast.
Let the dog out.
And then sit back and enjoy an afternoon of Rays baseball.
Maybe make it a 2-a-day workout.
All right.
We'll see.
Runners at first and third with 2 outs. Jason Kipnis facing Jake McGee. Pitch is a strike. Kipnis twice is grounded out, and a fly ball to right his first time. Rays holding a 4-3 lead. At one point they led 4-0. Ball 1 strike. One and 1 to count. Kipnis fouls it out of play. The count is 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Missed with that fastball. Boy, I'm not sure where that was. The count is 2-2, and Joe Madden's not real happy.
No, that looked good. It looked like it caught the plate, and it looked like it definitely had the height. Bottom of the strike zone for sure. Right there at the knees. That's perfectly placed fastball there by McGee, but not called.
So it's a 2-2 count. That especially on top of the at-bat Matt Joyce had in the bottom of the 6th. Ball is fouled out of play. Joe Madden not feeling real good about that pitch that was called a ball. Two balls, 2 strikes. Here it is. And this one is fouled out of play. Fastball. That one at 97. Two balls, 2 strikes. McGee's talking about low heat. A couple of these pitches have been down at 97. Chip just staying alive. 2-2 and another foul ball. Fastball at 97.
All right, how about this? How about we just pepper one up above the letters? 97, a little extra hair on it, change the eye level.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Pretty honed in on that ball down. Doesn't mean Jake can't power one past him.
2 men on, 2 men out. Kipnis number 22 at the plate. Runner breaks and the pitch hit up the middle and a base hit into center. That's going to score the tying run. Chu crosses the plate. Cabrera goes to third, and it's 4-4. Kipnis fouled a number of fastballs away and then hit one through the middle. The run charged to Farnsworth.
Well, this one they're trying to come in. It ends up middle away, and Kipnis just pops that ball right back up the middle.
So with 2 outs here in the 7th, the Indians have tied the game. They have men at first and third. Similar situation here. Now Madden has a conversation going with the plate umpire Dan Asanya, and he's just been ejected. And you have to think part of this goes back to the bottom of the 6th, and then the sequence of pitches with McGee in there to Kipnis, and Joe has been ejected from the game.
Yep, this is Matt Joyce rolling over to the fastball there and getting his money's worth.
Well, he called Joyce out on 5 pitches in the at-bat, and not one pitch was in the strike zone. And then Kipnis kept alive in the 7th inning on a pitch that was a strike at the knees that was called a ball. Joe Madden supplying the energy in that conversation.
Yeah, Dan Iasogna was not matching his intensity. Joe wanted to give him an earful on what he thought about the strike zone the last couple of innings.
Well, it goes back to Joyce in the bottom of the 6th inning when Matt was called out on strike. You can see here's the 5th pitch, and they're all out of the zone. Somehow the count was 2-2 when that 5th pitch was made and called strike 3. And then here in the top of the 7th, Madden thinking McGee had a strike to Kipnis that would have ended this. It was called a ball, and the inning continued. So now here's Michael Brantley first and third. The ground ball, and that's going to go through a base hit. Cabrera scores. Kipnis will go to third. And now it's 5-4 Cleveland.
Yeah, and this all started with 2 outs, nobody on. 4 straight hits. Chu, Cabrera, Kipnis, and now Brantley. And the Indians squeak out ahead. Brantley swinging a hot bat. We talked about him, and he just takes his fastball right back up the middle. And that's the one thing about Jake McGee. He's got a great arm and a good fastball, but can become predictable because it's just one after the other. The slider is not a real different pitch. It's not a big slider.
And Santana takes the pitch up and away, pops away from Lobatone, but no advance. Kipnis not attempting to come down the line at third, and Brantley staying put at first. 1-0.
You know, that's really where Jake McGee needs to continue to work on the development of that slider. And right now it's just not a pitch. You know when Jake has to make a pitch, you know what he's coming with. And it's not always easy to hit. Don't get me wrong, 97 is going to be extremely difficult to get the bat on, but that's what you know you're going to get.
There's a pitch wide, the call. 2-0. Madden ejected for the first time this year. Take another look at this pitch. Two-0 to Santana. He sends a fly ball to deep center field. Up and all the way to the wall, and this one is gone. A 2-0 fastball, and Santana hits it out to center field. All of this with 2 outs. Santana making it a 5-run inning. With 2 outs, the Indians have scored 5 times, and they now lead 8-4.
Now this ball's down, but Santana goes down and gets it. And tremendous power, good strong finish, and he gets underneath that baseball. Good backspin, a lot of carry. BJ goes back, nothing he can do about it.
So here is Travis Hafner. Hafner 1 for 3. Swings through it. Strike 1. All 8 of the Cleveland runs tonight have come with 2 outs. Two strikes the count on Hafner. A home run for Santana, the 6th he's hit this year. It's outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Going to drop for a base hit in front of Joyce. So with 2 outs, that's 6 consecutive hits for Cleveland batters. They have 11 hits in the game, and Johnny Damon will be the 9th man to come to the plate in the inning. Damon 0 for 3 tonight. Pitch is too low. 1 ball, no strikes. J.P. Howell now up in the bullpen. Two balls, no strikes. Strike. 2-1. There's a strike at the knees. Squares the count. 2-2. Strike 3 is called on Damon. That will retire the side, but not before the Indians rally with 2 outs for 5 and take an 8-4 lead.
5 runs scored with 2 outs, and they take an 8-4 lead. Now, coming up on Rays Live, the postgame presented by Checkers, Todd and Arestas, they will be out in center field anchoring the coverage. Joe Madden's press conference, you get to listen to that. Laura McKeeman will be in the clubhouse gathering player interviews, and Dwayne and I will give our parting shots.
And then go home and go right to bed, get a lot of rest for tomorrow afternoon's early offering. Changes for Cleveland. Tony Sipp on the hill, and Aaron Cunningham takes over in left.
That's not going to be very easy unless the Rays mount a comeback of their own here. That was a rough
turning.
Yeah. Yep. Way out of nowhere.
We had one tossing already in this game. Joe Madden ejected. And we'll see if the Rays now can battle their way back here as Luke Scott steps in against the lefty. The pitch is a ball wide. 1 ball, no strikes. Luke has been on base 3 times. 2 singles and a walk. Sipp throws a strike. 1-1. Sipp pitched an inning and a third in the game last night. Ball 2, 2-1. 4 to third for Masterson. Gave up 4 runs, 7 hits. Rogers an inning and 2/3. And no runs. Struck out 3 and walked 1. Changed his approach from the hard stuff. More breaking stuff from Rogers tonight. And Scott bunts the ball third base side. He has himself a base hit. With the shift on, Hanahan, the lone man over there at third, and Luke Scott has a bunt base hit. The Rays need some runners.
Well, that's the thing. Luke Scott recognizing that. You've got some catching up to do, so get on base. He does it with that bunt.
Now Desmond Jennings. Jennings 3 for 3. Pitch is outside. Scott with his first bunt hit of the year aboard at first base. One and one. Two balls and a strike. So the count square, 2-2. Full count. The Indians start to get further action in their bullpen. Scott at first, a full count to Jennings. Desmond fouls it on play. Joe Smith, sidewinding right-hander in the bullpen. And ball 4 is too high. It's the 9th walk issued by Cleveland pitching tonight. The Rays have 2 men on with nobody out here in the 7th inning. Manny Act is out of the dugout on his way to the mound. We'll be back with a new pitcher in a moment.
Disseminated without the express written consent of the Tampa Bay Rays.
Well, the Rays have put a couple of men on base with nobody out. Jose Lobaton's going to be the hitter. Joe Smith, pitcher number 4 for Cleveland. Indians put 5 up in the top of the 7th to take this 8-4 lead. And a little ground ball, second base. Kipnis goes to second, out there and out to first. Close play at second with Jennings sliding in there. Scott goes to third as Lobaton grounds into a 4-6-3 double play.
Well, Jennings did his best to get down there to second base and try to beat the throw, and by doing that, his focus was not in breaking the double play up, it was beating the throw. So he doesn't end up breaking it up as Drupal Cabrera is able to slide by him and make the return throw. See, he's not going for Cabrera, he's going for the bag. He doesn't get there in time, and Cabrera then is able to make a clean throw to first.
1-0 the count to Elliott Johnson. Swing through that one. 1-1. Smith got the double play ball out of Lobaton. Pitch is inside. 2-1. The 2-1. The high chop out to Kipnis, and he cannot make the play. A run's going to score. Well, that high chop gave Elliott Johnson a chance to beat it out. Even if a throw is made, he's going to beat that play. And the Rays make it 8-5.
Now coming right out of the box. Chop it right down and then go. Head down. Oh, right off the plate. That's where he got the height on that bounce.
Here is B.J. Upton, puts down a bunt. Smith fields and throws to first, and Upton is out of there to retire the side. 8-5 Cleveland. We are through 7. Toyota inside look, and for JP, the last 11 appearances spread over 13 innings. No earned runs, and the opposition hitting just 171.
Well, we've just seen a more consistent JP. I mean, he's been out there good with his fastball, both sides of the plate. You know, he's really getting a lot of movement on that pitch, too, and the curveball. The curveball, the big pitch for JP, the put-away pitch, weak contact, swing and miss pitch, been much more consistent. The break's been very sharp.
Well, here's J.P. Howell set to go to work. Casey Kochman to lead it off. Which is too high. Kochman hit by a pitch in the 5th inning with 2 outs and 2 strikes. He was hit by a pitch, and that led to 3 runs. Ground ball, first base side, backhanded by Pena. Carlos steps on the bag. Kochman is out of there. Here's Jack Hanahan. Hanahan doubled in the 2 runs in the 5th that got Cleveland on the board initially. There's a strike. 0-1. Hellickson for 6, charged with 3 runs. Farnsworth 2, McGee 3. Farnsworth, the pitcher of record. That's strike 2 to Hanahan. coming off the inning and 2/3 stint on Monday in relief of Alex Cobb. One ball, 2 strikes. Rays struck early. They scored 2 runs in the second. Scored 2 more in the third. They've had base runners on in every inning, but have scored in those 2, and then the 1 run they got in the 7th. Ground ball right side. Zobrist with it. Vince throw Pena. 2 up and 2 down. Let's check in with Todd Cowles.
Time to revisit, Dwayne. Thank you. Our text poll question of the evening. The boys at the Fox Studios came up with these 5 from our viewers. Wade Sway Davis, TB1. BJ the Blanket Upton, TB2. David the Cashier Price, TB3. Desmond Greenlight Jennings, TB4. Brooks Stone Cold Conrad, TB5. Text your vote to 78979. We will have the results in our Rays Live postgame show. Orestes Estrada and Barry LeBrock came up with some nicknames. O's the big nickname guy, and they asked the fans for their best nicknames, and those are the 5 finalists, guys.
Well, here is Chu, and the first pitch is a strike. One strike the count. One and one. One the count. Looper into left. Jennings coming in. He's there and makes the catch. 1, 2, 3 go the Indians in the 8th. Rays coming in to hit, down 8-5. On to the bottom of the 8th, Davey Martinez taking over the managerial reins after Joe Madden was ejected in the 7th. The Rays will have Pena to lead it off. Carlos Pena, then Ben Zobrist and Matt Joyce against Vinny Pistano. Pistano, the 8th inning guy, and boy, this guy has great stuff. Pitch is a strike at the knees, a fastball.
Yeah, good stuff coming out of the arm. good amount of deception. We saw the numbers just posted there. Up and down, very good. 48 strikeouts and just over 38 innings of work.
Pitch is wide. Slider that stayed out there, 1-1. Pena 0 for 3. He walked in the 6th. One of 9 walks drawn by the Rays in this game. Cut the miss on the fastball, and it's 1-2. Down to bunt, and he takes the pitch for a strike. That slider. 1 out in the 8th. Let's check in with Todd again.
All right, Dwayne, we're going to wrap up our website Wednesday. This question from Bob. He wanted to know whether pitches were judged by the radar on their speed right out of the hand or when they cross the plate. And our radar, a number that you'll see, is when the ball is released from the hand. So there you go. That'll wrap up our questions tonight. We may have a few more on the Rays Live postgame show, guys.
Don't forget the Rays Live postgame. Extensive questions to be answered by Todd and Orestes and the rest of the gang.
You and I will cover the important stuff.
We'll take care of that. Then make sure we get home early enough to get plenty of rest for tomorrow's day game. It's Ben Zobrist. He shoots one deep to right. Chew back though on the track, and he makes the catch. Zobrist making a bid to get it over the head of the Cleveland right fielder, but Chew got back on the track. 2 gone. Here's Matt Joyce. One strike to count. One hop to short. Cabrera's throw is in time. Joyce is out, and the Rays are up and down. 1, 2, 3. 8-5 through 8, Cleveland. It's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite, and the home run hit by Carlos Santana would have to qualify for Miller time tonight for Cleveland. his 6th home run of the year. That was a 5-run, 2-out uprising by the Cleveland Indians. And here in the 9th inning, Burke Badenhop will be pitcher number 5 for the Rays tonight. Well, here is Cabrera, Drupal Cabrera to lead off the 9th. Badenhop trying to hold Cleveland here and give the Rays one final shot in the bottom of the 9th. First pitch is in there, and that's a strike. Cabrera, who had been struggling, has 2 hits tonight in his last couple of at-bats. He's 2 for 4 and hit the ball very hard his first time up when Zobrist made that leaping catch. And there's one loop down the left side. That's going to get by Jennings and kick away from him. An extra base hit now for Cabrera. His 3rd straight hit of the night. This one a double.
Well, he's taking this ball the other way, and off the bat, Desmond Jennings is going to go and try and make a play on this. He heads directly over to try to run this ball down. This ball well off the plate, but you see the coverage there by Cabrera, and then realizes he's not going to be able to get to it. It's too late. It was going to skip by. Probably going to end up to be a double anyway. That ball just tracked away from Desmond.
So the 2-base hit. Jason Kipnis, the second baseman, takes the ball. Hal pitched 1 scoreless inning. All the other Rays pitchers preceding Hal have been charged with runs. And the pitch is a strike. It's 1-1. Started the day tied with Detroit for the 2nd wild card spot. The Tigers have beaten the Angels 7-2. Doug Fister pitched 8 innings in that game and got the win. The strike, it's 1-2. And the Red Sox have won their game over Chicago, over the White Sox 10-1. Cody Ross had 6 runs batted in that game for Boston. Liner into center. It's in there for a base hit. One hop to Upton. Here comes Cabrera. He will score, and on the throw back into the plate, into second goes Kipnis. So the Indians tack on a run. That's going to make it 9-5. Base hit, a run batted in, and a move up when the throw came through to the plate.
Well, as Drupal Cabrera had to hold up at first to see if this ball was going to get down, so he didn't have the greatest start off of second base. This ball didn't quite get where Badenhop wanted it. Kipnis fights it off. BJ cuts it, gets it into Elliott Johnson, who's going to turn and fire home a little bit wide, and then that allowed Kipnis to move up. He needs to get that run right back.
Brantley, it's a ground ball to the right side. Zobrist makes the throw to first, and Kipnis goes to third. So the Rays find themselves now down by 4. In that Boston win, Felix Dubron is the winning pitcher. He's 10-4. And here's Carlos Santana. The pitch loose, but within reach of Lobato. 1-0. plate umpire's mask.
Right now, throat protection.
High drive, hard hit, through into right field for a base hit. Santana drives in his 4th run of the night. 2 runs across the plate for Cleveland, and it's 10-5.
Boy, this second half of the game here, Indians bats have really come alive. Let's continue to add on.
So it's a 5-run deficit now for the Rays. Travis Hafner stepping in against Baden Hopp. One ball, no strikes. Baden Hopp in the game briefly last night. Ground ball right side. Zobrist to Johnson 1. First base 2. 4-6-3 on the double play. 2-run score. 10-5 as we go to the bottom of the ninth. And by the 2012 GMC Sierra, it's our best Sierra ever. We go to the bottom of the ninth inning here at Tropicana Field. The Rays, who early had built a 4-0 lead, now trail 10-5. Benny Pistano worked the 8th inning. Jeremy Accardo is on to work the ninth.
Up for the 21st time, 26 in the 3rd innings of work. 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. They get the final 3 outs here for the Indians.
Jeff Keppinger stepping in. Pitch is outside. 1 ball, no strikes. No strikes. Perez on 4 pitches. And Luke Scott. So Luke Scott has been on base all 4 times in this game. And there's a pitch wide. 1 ball, no strikes. Santana out to have a word with Ricardo. Ricardo pitched the 9th last night. Rays tonight have 9 hits and 10 walks. The pitch is a strike to Scott. 1-1. And a base hit the other way down that left field line. Kempinger heads to third. That's going to be a double for Luke Scott. And we have second and third with nobody out here. The Rays in double figures in the hit department.
Well, chip away, chop away, continue to get base runners, try to give them a finish here. Leadoff walk, and then Luke Scott having quite a night. You can just take that ball away and shoot it right up the left field line. Stays back nicely.
Well, he's got a 4-for-4 night. He's been on base 5 times. Here's Desmond Jennings. Pitch is outside. 1-0. One ball, no strikes. Strike at the knees. 1-1. This one takes this one long. 2 balls and a strike. Second and third, nobody out. Pitch is inside. 3-1. The Indians had their closer Perez up last inning, and when they scored a couple runs in the 9th, they went to Ricardo. Now Perez is back up. The bouncer foul will take the count for 3-2. Perez throwing again in the bullpen. And a ground ball headed to short. Will be picked up by Cabrera. The throw to first that time. The run scores. That makes it 10-6. Holding at second is Scott. Second run batted into the night for Jennings. And it's Jose Lobaton to step in. Ball, strike call. There's a long drive hit deep down the right It's a foul ball. Lobaton making a bid for his first big league home run, but he pulled it foul. Well, that would have made it interesting.
Yeah, yes, it would. Wait, that, yeah, I don't even want to think about it.
Pitch is down. 2 strikes. Scott with 4 hits. He's at second base. There's a ball down. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitches thrown by Accardo, 11 non-strikes and 7 strikes, and the count is full to Lobaton. And a foul back. Fastball holds the count full. Rays pitching tonight gave up a grand total of 1 walk. That was to Santana to open the 5th, and that eventually led to a 3-run inning. The Rays have drawn 10 walks, 3-2, and another foul ball.
Well, you say right now the Rays have 10 hits and will have walked 10 times, and you're saying Rays in a laugher.
That would be a fair assumption, but not borne out on the scoreboard tonight. 10-6 Cleveland. And a high fly ball back into center. Brantley's there to make the catch. Tag, and Luke Scott heads to third. So he'll be there with 2 outs. And Elliott Johnson will be the hitter. Johnson with a couple runs batted in. He got a chopping infield hit. Got Scott home in the 7th. Single home Scott in the 2nd. And there's ball 1. Ball 2, and Accardo wants another new baseball.
Trying to find one with some strikes in it.
Two balls, no strikes. That's a strike. 2-1. Pitch is foul back. Johnson fractured the bat. The count is now 2-2. Johnson trying to keep this one going. 2 outs. The Rays have scored a run. They have a man at third. Upton is on deck. And the 2-2. Johnson hits a little tap back toward the mound. Carlos tossed to first. And this game is over. It's a 10-6 final. The Indians have beaten the Rays here. They've taken 2 of the first 3. The Rays collect 10 hits and 10 walks, leave 12 men on base, and drop this game 10-6. Rogers will get the win. Farnsworth the loss to 3 hours and 31 minutes to play this game. And the Cleveland Indians come back to win it 10-6. We'll be with you tomorrow at 11:30 for the wrap-up game of this series. Our coverage begins on Sun Sports in high definition. For Brian Anderson and Todd Callis, Dwayne Stats, hope you've enjoyed the telecast. If not the outcome, 10-6 Cleveland, the final. See you next on Rays Live, the postgame.